right, hey folks, we are going to do some game design today. There's a new Artificer playtest out for Eberron 5e24. We're going to convert that into the martial power system that we've been playtesting and streaming here online for the past year or so. Give me a few moments here. I'm going to check my signal, go through my updates and stuff as I do. So if you're already familiar with the channel, you can skip ahead a minute and I'll catch up with you in real time. But for everyone else that's caught here in time space, for everyone else that is very loud, let's bring that down. There we go. Well, apparently my volume's working good. Glad to hear that. Pardon the pun. Yeah, so instead of having like a countdown screen where I'm doing like all the loading and the social media stuff, I just kind of sit here and look stupid to you while I flip stuff around. I don't know why I do it this way. This is just the way that I do it. I like the music that's in a lot of countdown feeds. I just don't know how to make that happen with OBS, so I just do it this way instead. But just to keep you entertained while we're doing the talky bits here today, converting Artificer play test to martial powers. There. That's what we're doing there. And let's see, I think I've got that there. Yeah, okay, so just to keep you amused so you don't just immediately bounce away and kill my algorithm feed. My name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games. I illustrate them. I publish them online. I've been running games in Dungeons & Dragons since 1987. I've been a Magic the Gathering enthusiast since 1994, and we'll explain why that's relevant here in a minute. Been a freelance illustrator since 99, and I've been creating content on the DMsGuild since 2018. The first book that I published on my own on DMsGuild is the Color Mana Spell Point Variant Rules, which converts the D&D 8 Schools of Magic and Fantasy Spell Slot system into the 5 colors of magic from Magic the Gathering and the Color Mana Spell Point system, so that you can, in D&D, run D&D as though it were more like Magic the Gathering, using color language for casting and having a unified mana pool that all 13 character classes can use. The Martial Power project that we've been working on specifically is designed for the martial classes, Barbarian, Fighter, Monk, Rogue, to have a mana pool resource that, like, I guess at a very basic level, replaces the key focus points that the monk has, as well as replaces the like superiority dice that the fighter gets as a battle master. So that's the, instead we create a mana pool so that now all 13 classes have a mana resource that can be spent on class features. Like a barbarian has like strike powers and reactions and like boosts that can be used while raging or not. While fighter and like, you know, rogues can remove sneak attack dice to gain like crit strike effects, not crit effects, but like strike effects like a paladin could. Fighters can give up extra attacks to gain extra mana to be able to launch heavier attacks on things. There's a lot of fun ways to manipulate it, and if you want to check back in the backlog of episodes that we've ran so far, you'll see a long series of us developing all the classes, powers, features, etc. So that's what we've been up to. Let me go ahead and summarize that here. Here on the YouTubes, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications of when we are live in the future. The document that we're going to use is here, the Martial Power playtest document. But before you kick on over there, I want to point out, here's the Color Mana system. Here's Point Warlocks, which also uses the Color Mana system. Spelljammer Combat and Exploration, which is where this illustration came from for our cartographer today. This is a space navigator on using an orrery as a mapping system, which naturally, when the cartographer is formally published, will be using the Spelljammer spell amplification system that's in the book to be able to target a ship with a map and then be able to keep track of that ship as it's moving through a wild space system with you, just to expand its usage. All of these books have free previews, as will the Martial Powers book once it's completed. And to stay true to formula, if you click on the playtest document, you'll have a complete access to it. It's read only, so it's look, don't touch, but you can read the entire thing. It's already being used in our playtesting. We've ran playtests at level 3 and 4, 5 and 6, and 16 to 20 so far. We're going to be testing in a mega dungeon. We're at level 4 right now in the mega dungeon. We're going to be going to level 10, and then we're going to start playing Mage Tower using martial powers as sports skirmishes at level 11, 13, 15, 17, and 19, 20. So that's what we're planning on doing through the rest of the year. If you think this stuff is cool, again, like, subscribe, join my Discord. It's down below, and you can make a team and fight in some Mage Tower with us if you want. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So this is the document. Let's peel this open and look at the Eberron updates. I've got a timer going. I've got about an hour or so I can play today. So we're going to start thumbing through this. But before we get too far down that path, let's peel out the Martial Powers document from the bar, so we can screen flip back and forth. Let's tool down. It's going to be a lot of tooling down. Here's the mechanics of how powers work as opposed to spell casting. Here's the list of all of the powers that we have been play testing. Most of these are working really, really well. If you want to have an actual like goading provoker tank, we've got a barbarian that's running a provoker tank right now. It's super fun to be able to lock targets down. We've added in a bunch of weapon masteries. I talk about this on Reddit if you check out my name on Reddit, talking about how preparing masteries to use with any weapon is basically just like the 11th level fighter ability, and it should just be a part of the base feature of preparing masteries. Instead of preparing a power at all, you can prepare additional feats, so you can stack your character up with all the feats that you want. There's no prerequisites to these feats, but you also don't gain any stat bonuses from them. So you're basically like, today I could prepare dual wielder, tomorrow I could prepare grappler. I could prepare Mage Slayer and Piercer and Poisoner and Polearm Master with Sentinel and Sharpshooter. I mean, I can just stack up. I don't have to use mana if I don't want to. I can just use a stack of feats. Just have every feat that my character would ever want off of this list and not worry about mana at all. Talk about a simple martial character that can build into complexity as your players become more proficient with the system. This is doing a pretty good job at that. So you are welcome and encouraged to explore and play. Alternate damage sources. You can prepare damage types at first rank. These are the basic elemental and mundane damage types. And then at 5th level, the advanced damage types, you can start preparing these as well. There's a huge de-emphasis on types of damage in 2024. So this gives the DM permission to be able to add resistances and immunities to creatures pretty much ad hoc to change their flavor, because characters, if they prepare for the dungeon or creatures that they're fighting, can think about what type of damages do we want to deal and what type of damages do we want to keep away from. So your ranger types and battle masters that want to pay, like, that can decipher mechanics out of creatures that you're facing would actually get a lot of usage out of that feature. Here's your barbarian stack. They're all working off of short rest, like the key focus points, 1 per level starting at 1st level. You gain them back on a short rest. The Warlock, Artificer, Paladin, and Ranger can mix and match between powers and spells to be actual gishes. So those 4, like the Artificer, Ranger, and Paladin are half casters. The Warlock's like an off half caster, but when everyone's using a short rest mana system like this, the Warlock just kind of fits in with what the Fighter, the Rogue, the Barbarian are already doing. So it actually curves better in and stays tight with that. So we're going to see some of that coming through here on when we work on the Artificer. But again, I'm just all of this stuff, again, if you just click open the document, it's right here. This will give you access to all this stuff that we're playing with. It's complete conversion. If you have the 5e24 books, you can use this immediately and just create quadratically, exponentially scaling, exponential option martial characters, just like spellcasters have exponential options with their spells, with their spell levels. This grants you that same versatility. So we're updating every single class. All 12 classes that are in the player's handbook have been fully updated in this document for use with the color mana system, as well as to integrate with the martial power system. And then beyond that, we are currently scrolling our way down to, that's Paladin, scrolling our way down to the Artificer so we can update our shit. Here's the Ranger. When you see an exclamation point, that means it's been fully converted as of today. So all these things are good to go. Hunter. The Forsaken subclasses that didn't appear in the 2024 book, we aren't going to add them to the initial document because by the time we publish this book, there might be other books that Wizards is releasing that are playtesting these Forsaken subclasses. So we can release these separately as basically coupon loss leaders for purchasing the actual Martial Powers book. Because if you check out the the Color Mana books that I've created down here, here in the Point Warlock, you will see that I have updated them multiple times. When I build a book, I don't abandon it. I make sure that it gets better with usage, because all the books that I make, I actually use in my games and have more and more opportunity to test them over and over again until they're really good pieces of machinery to add to your 5e games. So, almost there. Sorry. Here's the Warlock. It's unchanged for now. Get past the Warlock subclasses, the Forsaken subclasses, and here we are finally down at the Artificer. All right, this is where we wanted to get to. So we're still working on a short rest mana supply, 1 point up to 20. Let's see, what are the changes that we're seeing for the Artificer right now? What's inside? Cartographer, additional magic options, updated the versions of the new spells and new magic items compatible with the Artificer as presented here. Dragon marks, don't care. Core Artificer traits, D8, intelligence, constitution, arcana, history, investigation, okay, blah, blah, blah. Simple weapons, fine. Tool proficiencies, good to go. Light and medium armor plus some shields, starting equipment, A or B, that's all good. Let's see, what are we looking at here? Spellcasting. Tinker's Magic has been updated, that name, so we're going to check that out. Channeling, Tinker's Magic, Spellcasting. Plans known equals 0. And it comes 4/2, cantrips 2. Maximum spellcasting level. And total number of prepared spells. We push the number of prepared spells. We have, instead of having 15 spells learned, we have all of the classes have 23 spells or powers that they can prepare. So between for the Artificer, he has the up to 5th level spells as well as 5 ranks of power that can be freely moved between. And for now, we're giving 23 total. That's 15 spells and then 8 powers or feats or damage types or masteries that the Artificer can pick up as well, because this is a martial version of the Artificer. We might pull back on that a little bit as we see the system become more versatile, but for now that sets. So it's 5 and 3 at 6. And then 6 and 4 at 10. I'm just making sure our scaffolding still works. 14, 7, 5. And then 8, 6 at 18. We were originally talking about doing away with plans, but we ended up keeping them. It looks like that was a good decision. What are the powers? What are the things we have? Spellcasting, Tinker Tools, Spellcasting, Replicate Magic Item, Artificer Subclass. They got rid of Right Tool for the Job. So we'll drop that. Artificer subclass. ASI. Subclass feature. Magic item adept 10. Oh wait, we're at 5. Subclass feature, and then magic item tinker, flash of genius, ASI, subclass feature, magic item adept, spell storing item, which we converted to mana storing item. It's an extra mana pool, and we'll look at that real quick when we get to it. Magic item savant, subclass feature, ASI, magic item master, epic boon, soul of artifice. Okay, cool. That all tracks. The scaffold is in place and okay. Let's go down to the actual channeling features. And so we have Tinker's Magic is the first thing that we're modifying. Hold on real quick. Cool. I just had to check my shit. There. Let's see. Tinker's Magic now drops below. Let's go with this. Bop. Channeling class feature, spell casting with power. Now we go down to here with Tinker's Magic. So let's see what Tinker's Magic does. Let's see. Beep. Multi-class character. Artificer class features. Spell casting. Tools required. Let's look at spell casting. Okay, first off, the earliest feature that we have in the order of appearance in alphabetical order. Spell casting. Let's get rid of that. Channeling. Spell casting. Tinker's Magic. Perfect. Okay, channeling class feature. Starting at first level, you gain the channeling class feature, which we described up above. You can choose either dexterity, intelligence, or wisdom to be your channeling ability score. Your channeling DC is 8 plus proficiency bonus plus channeling ability bonus. You also gain a pool of martial points that you can learn martial powers. Mana. At first level, you have 1 point of mana. You regain mana when you finish a short rest. You gain 1 additional point each level as shown on the Artificer progression table. Beginning at first level, you can prepare 4 first rank powers from the martial power list. You gain additional powers as you gain levels up to your maximum channeling rank as listed in the martial power progression table above. You can swap 1 prepared power for another when you finish a long rest, and you can swap all prepared powers when you gain a level. Level 1 variant spell casting with power. Starting at first level, you can choose to learn spells on the Artificer list instead of powers. So the name of the number of martial points spent, the amount of mana spent to cast a spell is equal to the level of the spell cast. Maintaining concentration on a spell follows the rules as presented in the color mana spell point variant rules on DMsGuild, which we had linked down below. Each rank up, so you can maintain concentration on a number of spells up to your max spell level. So if I'm a 9th level Artificer, I can have up to 3rd level spells. I could concentrate on 1 3rd level spell, 3 1st level spells, or a 2nd level spell and a 1st level spell. So the concentration DC scales up with each additional spell level that I maintain concentration on. To maintain concentration on a cantrip is a DC 10. To maintain concentration on a 3rd level spell is a DC 13. Whenever I make a saving throw, I check my saving throw result against my concentration check. If my result of my saving throw is less than my concentration DC, I lose all my spells. When I take damage, it's a Constitution saving throw, and the DC is 10 plus amount of mana held, or half the damage taken, whichever is higher. If a spell has a saving throw, that would then have me take some or no damage as a result of the die roll. I've already made a saving throw, so I no longer need to worry about the damage taken unless it's residual damage that has an upkeep every round, in which case I do need to check that against my Constitution saving throw like normal. It's a very simple system. We've been using that my table, various tables of mine for the past 7 years. It's incredibly stable. It creates a really fun risk-reward system that makes spellcasters get really edgy about maintaining 8-level spells that have a DC 18 on a strength check, and they have a -2 on their strength roll and no proficiency. And it's like, you better roll a natural 20 or else you're going to lose that 8th level spell you're concentrating on. They're like, well, maybe I don't want to get into combat right now then. So it creates a very old school sort of paranoia inside of spellcasters, and they deserve it, honestly. They're gods. They should be afraid. Even a simple Ray of Frost requiring a dexterity saving throw or have your speed reduced by 10 feet. That can drop your 8 levels worth of concentration just like that. Super fun way to screw with characters. It makes them very glass cannon, which a lot of people agree should be how spellcasters are in D&D, but there's been no real good mechanics for expressing that. This is a really good solution to that. It's worth exploring. Ask me about it. Join my Discord server. Try to bust my chops if you want. It's an incredibly stable system, and it's worth exploring. So that's the spell casting. You can freely match. It's 1 spell point per level. It's very intuitive. If I have 50 spell points, you can just look at my character and you'll just automatically know how many 3rd level spells can you cast, how many 5th level spells can you cast, how many 1st level spells can you cast. Because the amount of points equals the level of spell that you cast. It's super simple. It's so easy. I feel like Wizards intentionally didn't use it, because then everyone that's new to the game would be like, why aren't we just using spell points? So I feel like they had to make it difficult on purpose. Hey, Fox. There's no caster greater than the mighty Bot. This is for those that don't know, Fox down here playing Bodvar. He's our barbarian tank, our provoker tank. It's a very MMO style of play of being able to attract the attention, and it's an intelligence save. The dumber you are, the more likely it is that you're going to stick on the angry-looking barbarian that's pissing you off. It's great narrative. It's a good Ludo. Let's see. Tinker's Magic. So that's spell casting that works. Tinker's Magic. Let's look at how Tinker's Magic looks like in the new UO. We need to have this. You can cast more than 1 spell with mana per turn. Oh yeah, this is a generic feat. There's only like 15 spells in the player's handbook that are reactions or bonus actions, and almost all of the bonus actions require you to attack first. So the idea that you're limited on how many spells you can cast, like 1 spell slot per turn, when there's a whole bunch of spells that you can now cast multiple per turn as long as you don't spend a spell slot on them, is honestly completely unnecessary. There's so few spells that get in the way of you being able to cast just whenever you want to cast spells that there's no reason not to. The only one that can really abuse that idea is the sorcerer, and you have to spend sorcery points to do it every time, which is unto itself its own nerf feature that makes the sorcerer incredibly unique if you allow them to juice up stuff like this. Yes, you could potentially lob a fireball and then lob another fireball again, but a good solution to that is that you can't spam the same spell more than once per turn. But you can cast spells more than once. That's actually a really good way to get around that. I mean, you could still throw a fireball and then follow up with a cone of cold. But if you've read the Justicar novels by Paul Kidd, Escala the Sorceress, that was like one of her signature moves. She'd hit things with a cold cone, and then she'd pop them with a fireball, so they'd freeze, and then they would explode. It's really freaking cool to be able to do that, and it would be expensive as hell for a sorcerer to do that, but when you do, your sorcerer will feel like a god, and it's worth having. So take that to the bank. Explore it. Bust my chops on it. Prove me wrong if you want, but it's a very good system, and especially if you want to hold on real quick. This is now a debating point for me. Hold on. I'm gonna grab my sorcerer stack here. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think I made it double the cost, which is crazy expensive. Hold on, let's see if that's true. Wait for it. I'm genuinely interested right now. Let's find out. When do we start doing that? Oh, it might only be 2. Hold on. Twin spell. When you cast a spell that targets only one creature and doesn't have a range of self, you can spend a number of sorcery points equal to the spell's level to target a second creature in range with the same spell. 1 sorcery point if it's a cantrip. So that's twin spell. But we want quicken spell. I think it costs at least 2. But is it just 2? Quicken spell. When you cast a spell that has a casting time of 1 action, you can spend 2 sorcery points to change the casting time to 1 bonus action for this casting. Yeah, that's. Oh yeah, and then the limitation. The real limitation is the max sorcery limit. So at 5th level, I can cast 3rd level spells, but I can only put 2 sorcery. I can only use 2 points worth of meta magic. So at 5th level, I could quicken a spell, but it would have to be a 2nd level spell or less. It's 9th level. Once I get to 9th level, I can quicken a 3rd level spell. And Cone of Cold, quicken and Cone of Cold, I can't do that until 13th level. And then I cap at 5th level, at 17th level. Then at 20th level, I can do any spell. I can basically, as long as I'm willing to dump the points into it, I can do it. Max sorcery, yeah. I want to update that actually. Quicken spell. When you cast a spell that has a casting time of 1 action, you can spend, and we can actually move this to 1st level. Then you can spend 1 plus. Sorry, tangent here. 1 plus. You can spend a number of sorcery points equal to the casting time with 1 action. You can spend a number of sorcery points equal to 1 plus the level of spell. Cantrips equal 1 to change the casting time to 1 bonus action for this casting. There. That makes quicken spell available at 1st level. But it has a hard cap, like you wouldn't be able to cast a 2nd level spell until 5th level. You wouldn't be able to cast a 3rd level spell until 9th. A 2nd level spell until 9th. A 3rd level spell until 13th. It pushes everything back. And that helps make it fair, because you're not going to be overclocked. PQ there. That's where we want to be. So 5th level, 1st level spell. 9th level, 2nd level spell. 13th level, 3rd level spell. 17th level, 4th level spell, and then at 20th level, it can be any level spell. The cap goes up to 10, so a 9th level spell I could cast as a bonus action because it's going to cost me 10 mana to do it. There you go. On top of the actual casting cost. When you cast a spell that has a casting time of 1, you can spend a number of sorcery points equal to 1 plus the level of spell to change the casting time to 1 bonus action. It's expensive to use. It has delayed gratification. And it slows down your progression, so the damage that you're dealing with, the level of spell that you can cast, isn't going to be anywhere near the damage capacity of the creatures that you're facing. So it's cool to Nova it, but it's going to cost you a fuck ton of points. You're basically paying double plus 1 the cost to be able to bonus action it. So if I wanted to throw 2 3rd level spells at 13th level, it would cost me 10 points. It would cost me 10 mana to do that 1 round, and at 13th level, I have 70 points, I think? 61. I have 61 points, so I could do that a few times before I'm completely exhausted for the day. Anyway, these are the ideas that we play with. So I'm going to collapse that for now. We'll get back to that in the future. Prepared slots. Oh, yeah, that's what we were doing. We were playing over here. Don't mind me. Tangents are good. Let's see. The amount of mana, maintain concentration. For example, 9th level Artificer sustaining a second rank power. You can only concentrate on a first level spell. You can use Tinker's tools as an arcane focus. And now let's look at what Magical Tinker now does. Tinker's Magic. That's what we call it now. Tinker's Magic. How about that? You know the mending cantrip. As a magic action while holding a Tinker's tools. Let's see. Magical Crafting. As a magic action while holding Tinker's tools, you can create one item in an unoccupied space within 5 feet of yourself. You can choose an item from the adventuring gear list on the player's handbook that weighs up to 10 pounds, costs up to 2 gold pieces, and isn't consumable. For example, you can create a pole, 10 pounds, 5 copper pieces, a lamp, 1 pound, 5 silver pieces, manacles, 6 pounds, 2 gold pieces, and other similar items. The DM may allow additional items not on the list to be created instead of this limited list. So we just basically, on a previous episode, we went through what these items were and found that all of them cost less than 2 gold pieces and less than 7 pounds. So it became a universal trait of, well, let's just make it simple and make it 10 pounds so we can include a tent. So make it up to 10 pounds and 2 gold pieces. So like bedroll, tent, stuff like that. See the rules at a player's handbook. The item lasts until you finish a long rest, at which point it vanishes. There you go. The item... the item remains until you finish a long rest, at which point it vanishes. Period. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your channeling ability modifier, because it could be what do we have? You can use dexterity, intelligence, or wisdom. Take your pick. And you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. And you can regain 1 use by expending 1 point of mana. No action required. If you have more items currently created than your intelligence, than your ability, than your... then allowed, the oldest item vanishes as the new item is created. So you can use your mana pool to make shit now, but you're still limited to your ability modifier that you're choosing. If you have more items, yeah. Let's see. You can use the feature a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier, and that ends the effect. We had introduced previously Harness Magic, which is as a 1-minute ritual, you can harness magic from the environment, restoring an amount of mana equal to half your Artificer level, rounded up, minimum of 1. You can do so once, regaining this feature when you finish a long rest. We're doing this because the Warlock can do this. And the Warlock needs this because the Warlock is working on a short mana system. Short rest mana system, which is reducing them to basically 1 point of mana per level. Which at first level sucks because you burn out super fast. So this is allowing you a once per day short rest as a 1-minute ritual. As a 1-minute ritual, you can harness magic from the environment, restoring an amount of mana equal to half your Artificer level. There you go. So this is a way to cheat that, and then we'll see that down in Soul of Artificer, it expands. Let's look at the changes that they made to replicate magic item, because I suspect that the new UA system is actually simpler and more balanced to use than what we have currently in the playtest document here. So you have learned arcane plans that you use to make magic items. Plans known. You can, when you gain this feature, choose 4 plans to learn from the magic item plans. Artificer level 2, table, Bag of Holding, Cup of Water Breathing, Sending Stones, Wand of War Mage are recommended. Whenever you gain an Artificer level, you can replace one of the plans you know with a new plan for which you qualify. You learn another plan of your choice when you reach certain Artificer levels, as shown on the table below, above. When you choose a plan to learn, you choose it from any magic item plans for which you qualify. And then creating items. When you finish a long rest, you can create 1 or 2 different magic items if you have Tinker's tools in hand. Each item is based on one of the plans you know for this feature. If a created item requires attunement, you can attune yourself to it the instant you create it. If you decide to attune to the item later, you must do so using the normal process for attunement. When you reach certain Artificer levels specified in the magic item table, you can increase the number of magic items that you can create at the end of your long rest. Each item you create must be based on a different plan that you know. If you try to exceed your maximum number of magic items for this feature, the oldest item vanishes, and then the new one item appears. Duration. Magic items created by this feature function as normal magic items, except its magic isn't permanent. When you die, it vanishes after D4 days. If you replace a plan you know with a new one, timer. If you replace a plan you know with a new plan, any magic item created with the replaced plan immediately vanishes. If an item that you created with this feature is a container, such as a bag of holding, it vanishes and its contents harmlessly appear in the space around. Spellcasting focus. When you can use any wand or weapon created by this feature as a spellcasting focus in lieu of using a set of artisan tools. Wow, that's really cool. It's artisan tools, not tinker tools. Cool. So where are we at? Magical crafting. As a magic action, while holding Tinker's tools, you can create 1 item. So we need plans. You start with I start with knowing 4 plans, as listed on the Artificer's list in the UA, and you learn. I'm using shorthand here because we don't have anything official yet. And you learn additional plans at higher levels as listed on the table below. You can change a known plan when you finish a long rest. The rarity of magic items you can create is determined rest. Artificer's list in the UA as listed. You start with knowing 4 plans as listed in the Artificer's list in the UA for second level, for level 2 Artificers. And you learn additional plans at higher levels as listed on the table below. You can change a known plan when you finish the long rest. Level, total, attune, total attune, total attune, total attune, total attune. There. Replicating items. Total, we'll go with, yeah. Let's see. I can get rid of the rarity table. That's no longer relevant because we're just going to go with the list of Artificer stuff. Plans, attune, and let's do it like this. Plans, items, attune. Oh, 6. Here we go. 2, 3, 5. 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just do it like that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Plans 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Attunements. You can attune to a number of magic items determined by your Artificer level as listed on the table above. Crafting an item. You can use any magic item plans you know to create one copy of that item. Let's see. Oh, there we go. You can use any magic item plans that you know to create right, crafting. So while as part of as downtime activity while in your bastion, you can use any magical plans you know to create that item requiring 1 week of work. If your bastion is of sufficient rank to do so. You must retain knowledge of the plan for the full duration of crafting, and it requires attunement while crafting. There you go. Replicating an item. So we should probably push crafting the item to after replicating the item. There. And we can get rid of the rarity list. That is no longer relevant. We can get rid of all of this. This is going to simplify everything. Let's see. Plans, attunement, replicating. There. You can swiftly replicate magic items that you know the plans for, even if away from your... You can swiftly replicate 1 copy of any magic item that you know the plans for when you finish a long rest. Period. You can replicate a number of items determined by level as described on the table, as listed on the table below. Attunement. You can attune to a number of magic items as determined by your Artificer level as listed on the table below. When you replicate a magic item, you can immediately attune to it when it is created. Otherwise, follow the normal rules for attunement. Period. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Good. 1, 2. Chunk, chunk, chunk. 1, 2. There. 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 Oh, wait. Magical crafting, harness power. What is this called? Mending. You automatically, you know the mending cantrip. This doesn't count against the total number of cantrips you know. Without counting against the total number of cantrips you know. Magical crafting, harvest magic. Fuck it, drop it down. Sorry, I'm nitpicking. Cool. List of new magic items below are included. In addition to the magic items available for you to create at second level, the following items are included on the list The following items are included on the list of new magic items. On the list of the following items are included on the list of magic items you can create you can replicate starting at second level. Mana crystal, you can create and store mana. Spell traps is a delayed casting effect that when you cast a spell into a spell trap and you throw a spell trap down, if a creature moves into the space that's occupied by the spell trap, they trigger the spell targeting themselves. If it's an AoE effect, the area of effect is centered on the trap. And then it affects, everyone that's within reach. It requires concentration. I believe it just has a duration of 1 minute. Otherwise, it's instantaneous. Empowered weapons and power gear. Well, power gear is we can just replace that. I think we're going to end up changing this to empowered items, which is magic items that use the power system as enchantments instead of spells. So like a common rarity empowered item has up to, I think, it has like a cantrip, like a meta power, like something that doesn't require mana, and a +1 bonus. And then you've got common, uncommon, rare, very rare, and legendary. So cantrip level or non-mana resource here. Uncommon is first rank, second rank for rare, very rare is third rank, and legendary is fourth rank. And you can have 1 power plus a +1 enchantment bonus. You can have 2 powers, you can have 3 powers, you can have 4 powers, and you can have 5 powers plus +1, +1, +2, +2, +3. So a very rare magic item can have 4 powers up to third rank, and it can have a +2 bonus on it, for instance. That would be a very rare empowered item. / power gear. For those that are confused, crafting an item, and then as downtime, so I can create a plan for bracers of power shielding. It would be an uncommon item. I could have a power shield, which is a floating shield that has an increasing armor class shield bonus. And then on top of that, since I can have 2 powers, I could have, like, for instance, the interception feat. So I could have a floating shield of spectral force that grants me the interception feat as a shield action when I'm adjacent to an ally, just like the feat does. The feat is 1 power. The power shield is a first rank power. Those 2 fill the 2 spaces that I have for the empowered item. There you go. That'd be a pretty kick-ass shield power to have. I guess that's a good piece of gear because you don't have to hold it. So you can still wield a 2-handed weapon and have a shield of force that's floating in front of you. And you could use a reaction to intercept damage that your ally might take instead. Crafting items, that resolves all of that. Magic item plans, Artificer, Alchemy Jug, Bag of Holding, Cup of Water Breathing. Common magic item that isn't a potion, scroll, cursed. You can learn the option multiple times and must select a different thing. Common magic item that isn't... Wow, that's really vague and broad. So you can learn this option multiple times and must select a different item each time. Each item selected counts as a different plan. So that's common magic at 2nd level. What happens at 6? Nothing. And then at 10, an uncommon wondrous item. Common non-consumable magic item here. Uncommon item here that isn't cursed. Yeah, I'm good with that. And then here is a rare wondrous item at 14+. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. That isn't cursed. Good caveat. That's not cursed. Did we have cursed language in here? Nope. Well, we have under rapid attunement, one of our powers that does talk about curses. Artificers gain all its subclass abilities. Let's see, subclasses, ability features, magic item tinker. Right tool for the job. Create items improves. You can now create any non-consumable item with the miniaturing gear that weighs up to 20 pounds and costs 50 gold pieces. You can also create tools that cost up to 50 gold pieces. I don't think we have... Is right tool of the job, is that even on here anymore? No, it's not. They took that away. Neat. Okay. So we're going to scrap that. And I suspect we're going to push this down. Probably down into here. Good. So let's see. Magic item tinker, level 6. Magic item tinker. You replicate magic item features gains with the following options. Charge magic item. Empowered charges. If you are attuned to a magic item that expends charges when you're using the magic item, you can instead spend 2 mana or an amount equal to the level of spell the magic item duplicates, whichever is more. So back when this first came out, we had the idea of spending mana or spell slots to be able to replicate charges. We now find that they probably watch my stream and have decided to, as a bonus action, you can touch a magic item within 5 feet of yourself that you create with a replicate magic item and use charges. You recharge the item and expend a level 1 plus spell slot. The number of charges an item regains is equal to the level of spell slot expended. How about that? They agree with me yet again. I love this, man. Every time I come up with an idea for the Martial Powers book, all I have to do is wait. And Wizards of the Coast ends up doing it too, which is why I'm pretty convinced they're going to end up decoupling weapon masteries from weapons. Because that seems like such an intuitive step to take. They just haven't taken it yet because that's too big of a leap for them. But all these ideas, man, they just keep... Okay, so we can just change this to charge. Magic items. Is this basically, yeah, at this point we can just pretty much replicate it. Items. As a bonus action, okay, we'll just use our language. As a bonus action, I'm almost out of time. As a bonus action, you can touch a magic item within 5 feet of you, of yourself. Oh, that you created. I like that limitation. I had it as attuned, but that you created with the replicate magic item. That uses charges. I'm good with this. As a bonus action, you can touch spending to restore charges in the item. You can restore 1 charge for each point of mana spent this way. Up to the maximum number of charges the item can spent this way. 1 charge for each point of mana spent this way. An item cannot have more charges than it had when replicated. Drain item. You can replicate a number of items determined by a list level below. Start knowing 4 plans. You can change and you learn additional plans at higher levels as listed on the table. Learn additional plans at higher levels as listed on the table below. Yeah. Replicating item. You can swiftly replicate 1 copy of any magic item that you know the plans for when you finish a long rest. You can replicate a number of items determined by level. Okay, so the plans determines the level and what kind of spell you get, what kind of item you get. Replicating says how many of the plans you can convert into items, and the attunement says how many items you can be attuned to at a time. So we don't need, and then crafting, of course, you can go into a bastion and build shit that way. Beyond that, you do not need to have more references to that. So magic item tinker is now not specifically related to replicating magic items. Is that what the feature is called? Replicate magic items? Yeah. Magic item tinker, drain magic item. You can touch a magic item within 5 feet that you create with a replica and cause the item to vanish, converting its magical energy into a spell slot. The slot of the spell is 1, so you get 1 mana for a common item, you get 2 for uncommon, and we'll give you 3 for a rare. I like that. It's very simple. When did we do that? Mana storing item. We had in the previous, we got rid of it, but previously we had the version where you could destroy a magic item and get mana for it. It's nice to see that they brought that in. So I don't need to have replicate magic item here. We can have charge magic item, drain magic item. Drain magic items. Singular. Singular. Is it as a bonus action? As a bonus action, you can touch a magic item within 5 feet of yourself that you created with the replicate magic item feature that you created with the replicate magic item feature. And cause the item to vanish. When you do, you gain a number of you regain mana. Common, we'll go rarity, mana. Common, 1. Uncommon, 2. Rare, 3. Once you use this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest. Any spell slots you create this way. No, it's regaining mana. When you do, you regain mana. You regain a number of mana equal to the you regain mana. You regain mana. When you do, you regain mana. The amount is determined by the rarity of the magic item drained. There. You can use this feature once, regaining it when you finish a short or long rest. Because we're using the mana system on a short rest, we're allowing you to drain magic items to regain mana as well, because you have a much smaller mana pool. You need to be able to cycle through it more quickly. You don't get this until 6th level, so it still makes sense to have the harness magic option. Right tool for the job, your ability, and then we're just adding this, right tool for the job. Your ability to create items improves. Your ability to your magical crafting feature improves. Your magical crafting feature improves. Period. You can now create any non-consumable item on the adventuring gear list that weighs up to 20 pounds and costs no more than 50 gold pieces. You can also create any tools that cost up to 50 gold pieces, including gold pieces, including any tools or artisan tools. Any sets of tools or artisan tools. There you go. So like thieves' picks, stonemason tools, smithy tools, stuff like that. And that takes care of that. Transmute magic item. As a magic action, you can touch one magic item within 5 feet of yourself. You can create that you created with replicate magic item, transform it into a different magic item. The resulting item must be, oh, there's Flash of Genius, 7. Yeah, Flash of Genius. You are a creature within 30 feet of an ability check. Oh, no, that was different. Yeah, right tool of Java is something. Okay, I'm not crazy. Let's see. Charge magic, drain magic. What's it called? Transmute magic. Right tool for the job. And then... We'll go with this. As a bonus action, what is it? Bonus action, swap something for another? Let's see. As a magic action, you can touch one magic item within 5 feet of yourself that you create with a replicate item. You can transform it into a different magic item. Result item must also be based on magic plans that you know. Once you use this feature, you can't do so until you get and finish long rest. Okay, as a bonus action, you can convert one magic item you created using replicate magic item into a different item that you also know the plans for. As a bonus action, you can touch a magic item you created and transmute and swap it for a different item that you also know the plans for. You can do this once. You can use this feature once, regaining it when you finish a long rest or expend 3 mana. No action required. Let me use it more than once. Flash of Genius. Did this change? You can now attune up to 4 magic items at once rather than 3. We know that. You know, let's push right tool for the job up to 10th level. Let's see. Flash of Genius. Ally bonus action, potentially change it into success as a reaction. Bonus action, reaction, and again to the character, bonus to roll equal to the channeling ability modifier, minimum 1. Is that how it works? Ability modifier? A bonus action, potentially causing it take a reaction to add a bonus to the roll, potentially change to the bonus is equal to your ability modifier. You can take this reaction a number of times equal to your ability modifier. You can expend 1 point of mana when you take the reaction to gain the bonus once. You can expend 2 points of mana because it's a flat bonus. Let's see. Hold on. When you or a creature, let's do it different. When you or a creature within 30 feet fails an ability check or saving throw, you can use your reaction to grant the creature a bonus to the roll equal to your power die. Equal to the result of rolling 1 power die, potentially turning a failure into a success. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your channeling ability modifier and regaining all use. In addition, if you've expended all uses of this feature, you expend 1 point of mana for rolling a power die. So at 7th level, it's a D6. At 9th level, it'll be a D8. At 17th level, it'll be a D10. It could be shit. It could be great. But it only costs you 1 mana to pop it, so it's worth trying. That's Flash of Genius. Magical Adept, 4 instead of 3, and we can do 20 pounds and 50 gold. Spell storing item. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can touch one simple or martial magic item. You store a spell in it. Choose level 1, 2, or 3. Of course, you're going to take 3rd. While holding an item, a creature can take it. Use no more than once. We have used a different method, and we're going to stick with the method that we have used, which is mana storing item. When you finish a long rest, you can store 11 mana in a spellcasting focus. And you can increase the amount by 1 mana when you gain an additional Artificer level up to 20 mana at 20th level. While holding the focus, you can use a bonus action to give yourself or another creature within 5 feet an amount of mana up to your channeling ability bonus, minimum of 1. A creature cannot gain more mana this way than its maximum total mana. When you finish a long rest, any unspent mana in the item is lost until you use this feature again. So this basically becomes a mana battery that you can use to give mana to yourself or that you can choose to give to other people. It's not a magic item that you give to other people. It's more, we're limiting in that way because I want to do that. That feels more balanced to me. But these are all variant features, so if you choose to replace this with the item as listed, you are welcome to do that. Instead of having this, you don't get it in addition. You can do this way to heal mana in people's mana pools, or you can give them an item that does one specific thing, and it has, what, 10 uses? That's a lot. You might decide that you want to do this instead, but healing mana is super useful, especially when everybody on your team uses mana a lot. Being able to heal people's mana is super useful. Let's see. Savant. 5 instead of 3. Master is 6 instead of 3. And then Soul of Artifice, Epic Boon. We already have Epic Boon. There's no changes. If we don't list it, it doesn't change. So that's why I don't have it listed here, but we still get it. And then Soul of Artifice. The way that it's listed here is Cheat Death. And Magical Guidance. When you use your Flash of Genius and the affected ability check or saving throw still fails, that use of Flash of Genius isn't expended. If you have attunement to at least one magic item. Right on. Rare magic item, destroy. When you use the magical, we replaced that with when you use the magical tinkering feature to harness magic, you restore all mana. Instead of giving you cheat death, and we'll go with magical guidance. Let's see. When you use Flash of Genius, if the D20 test still fails, you don't expend a use. You don't expend the use of this feature. You don't expend that use of this feature. We have to give this a cool name. Soil Artifice now becomes... Was it Harness Magic? What's a cool capstone name we can give that? Gather Magic. Magic the Gathering. Harness Magic. Magic Harnessing. Let's see. Let's see. Maximum. Abundant Harvest. When you use the magical tinkering feature to harness magic, you restore all mana instead of just your max level spell. There you go. Okay, so that's the base chassis for the Artificer, updated for the Martial Powers book. It's much simpler now, but we do need to refer to this document for the tons of shit that you can make. I'm cool with that. And so we're going to have to wait until next time to do the Cartographer because I'm out of time. So we'll have to come back another day and play with the Cartographer again. So next time we do a Martial Powers update, we will delve into the cartographer some more. I think I've got words for the cartographer, but I want to digest it a little bit more. Maybe we'll do this on Tuesday. We'll probably do the cartographer on Tuesday. I suspect that's what we're going to do. So, but that's it for now for me, guys. I'm going to bounce out of here. I'll be back. I'll be back on Monday. Yeah, Monday morning we'll do. We're starting a new painting for the Eberron adventure that we're working on, and I'll be back Monday night to work on the Bastion campaign supplement some more, and then Tuesday we'll work on the cartographer. At lunchtime, Tuesday morning, Eberron art, Tuesday lunch, cartographer, Wednesday morning, Eberron art, and then Thursday morning, Eberron art, Thursday night, Bastion campaigns, Friday morning art, Friday lunch. I don't know. Maybe we'll look at the Artificers again. Who knows? But that's my upcoming week. So if you think this stuff is fun, you want to learn about more, stick around, like, subscribe, bell icon, jump in my Discord, ask questions, try to bust my chops. I appreciate it. We'll see you guys on the other side. Cheers.